Hey there, good morning. I'm John. Today is Monday, February 3rd, 2025. It's a brand new week and a new edition of my daily vlog where each morning I come in, turn the lights in my studio here, turn on the camera, and talk to you about what I've been doing, what I'm doing next, and how it's going, trying to make content creation indefinitely sustainable. And it's, where are we at? It's over 2 years now. So again, sustainable, not indefinitely yet, because still, although we're seeing growth, we're going to talk about in a second. Let's rewind to Friday and talk about what was going on the end of last week. Excuse me. So Friday morning, I dropped another short. I have probably 3 or 4 more of those to drop over the next few days. I did one on Saturday too, I think. I'll drop more in the future, but I mean, I have that many to drop of the ones in that one video that I'm chopping up. So, then Friday afternoon was the Friday Plays. So that was a little lesser known game, Commando Raid from US Games? Yeah, US Games. And that hasn't done amazing, but it's done okay. Over the last 3 days, 2.5 days since Friday, it's done 3,100 views. Not on par with other Friday plays, but they ebb and flow. And in fact, I already picked the one for next week, and it's also not a barn burner, but it's one I think it's important to do. So we'll get back around to maybe next week we'll grab a more popular one and try to amp that up again. But you never can tell. It's not like pick a popular game, it'll do well, because you could pick. We've had other ones that are oddities, and they've done very well too. So I'm just going to stay the course with those. Those continue to do well, though they ebb and flow. I had planned Friday to do a whole bunch of research and writing, and I had the podcast recording in the late afternoon, like 5:30. I got back from lunch though, and the guys were like, "We both have Friday off. You want to record the show early?" So like 2 in the afternoon, we got together to record the shows. So I wasn't as productive in the afternoon as I thought I was going to be, because we ended up recording the shows, and then it was 6, and they were like, "I'm not going to do some writing now." So you know how Fridays are. I spent the weekend. Every year I get a new external hard drive to hold all my GenXGrownUp stuff. And I had it sitting. I purchased it a few weeks ago in January, and I needed to. But I need to block a time where I'm not using it to clone it, as you can imagine. So I chose Saturday morning to start the cloning process, and it's a 5 terabyte drive, and it took about 28.5 hours to clone. But it's all done. I use that drive so regularly, so constantly all day, that I'm afraid to let it run for more than a year without replacing it, because you just put so much wear on it for an external. They have a good life, but I mean, it's so much random seeking and rewriting. So I think it's safe to get a new one. And plus I have a whole duplicate now of last year that I can put on a shelf, which I do. Let's see. Oh, and then Sunday, of course, George's news segment, Bit by Bit, dropped on Sunday morning. And that's done really well. 2,500 views just overnight. He's almost 20 hours, I guess, almost a day. So he drops his at 11 a.m. So 2,500 views on that. And in fact, we had a discussion the other day based on a suggestion from Paul. He said, hey, he really enjoys those, but they're so heady. There's so much to think about. He gets exhausted in the middle. What if they were shorter? And I talked to George about, hey, maybe what we shorten it and we split them up. We do one midweek and one on Sunday, which we think doesn't add a bunch of work to him. He's trying it out. We're going to see. But we have another one we'll drop on Wednesday. Again, an effort to try to ramp up some more views and engagement, and we're going to talk about it in a second, but trying to ramp up more and more. Ever since CES, we have not been able to replicate the pre-CES viewers high that we were on. And I think a lot of it I attribute just to being January, which is pretty common. We saw revenue drop and we're seeing views drop. I had that big spike in January from CES because I had all this content that was brand new and no one else really had, or very few people already had. So because I was kind of embedded at CES. But well, speaking of that, let's go ahead and take a look at the chart where views are down again, but subscribers are way up. So here's my little chart. I'd like to be at or above this midpoint, which represents 13,000 views and 80 subscribers average over the last 7 days. Well, as I mentioned, views are down again just a little bit. You're down to 10.7 thousand. I remember 10,000 used to be my target, but I've elevated that. We can't live on that forever, so I'm up to 13. Subscribers, though, 147. We're doing really, really well. Our promotion continues to run well, and a lot of traffic coming through that. So we're seeing the growth that we need. That will eventually fold over on itself and create more views, but it's just we haven't recovered yet from the holidays. And you can see the upper left, the 28-day chart. By the end of this week, the main CES will have rolled off. That'll be a month ago now. And we'll start to be able to see this chart clearer because it's not so condensed because of the spike from back in early January. So how does that affect our subscriber count? Well, really well over the weekend. I think I said on Friday we were at 78.4, and I suspected we get 4 or 5 over the weekend. And so, yeah, sure enough, we crossed through 78.5, 78.6, 78.7, 78.8, and now we're at 78,900 in just a few. Whew, that puts us within about 1,100 of, not 80,000, about 1,100 away. We're talking another week or so. It could be next Monday or Tuesday, maybe. If things continue the way they are, we could be looking at 80,000. Man, okay. Wow, that's great. Where are we at? What's next? Oh, today. So today, first things, I'm going to do the new Celebrating Yesteryear for Retro Days. So I'm going to get that done and edited and delivered so they can be edited. Remember, we're running a week ahead now, which is nice. And so this one will be for not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So I'll get that cut and delivered. I need to prep the podcast for editing tomorrow. That'll be Tuesday morning. We'll talk about that tomorrow. And then I wish I were more prepared for this morning. It's Monday. It feels like a Monday, what it really does. I just don't feel prepared or engaged yet, but I'm sure once I get in, start recording and editing, I'll get there because I have I got a new thrift item that I picked up over the weekend. I have a new gadget from my buddy Paul who sent. I got to take a look at that and see if that's video worthy. I think it probably is, but I need to kind of explore it a little more. What else? Oh, and I have a number of things here in the studio that I want to look at, and plus I still have a potential interview that I need to circle back on that I haven't since CES. So, number of things there to do. I just don't know which thing I'm going to do, but with any luck, it will result in a video dropping by the end of today. That's my target. So, I don't feel as focused this Monday as I did last Monday, but it was a good weekend, really nice. Mo's birthday party was Saturday or Sunday last night. Yeah, so had a really nice dinner and played some games with him and hung out. Just a late night is all it was. So, I'm gonna go ahead and try to get my head right and get into the day, see what I can't get accomplished here once I get my wheels up under me. I want to thank you, of course, for popping in to check out today's vlog. If that's what you did, you know they're here every day. I love you for that. Thank you so much. I think tomorrow will be more, I'll feel more coherent and more cohesive. We'll see. Have a great Monday. Don't forget to do something good for yourself. I'll talk to you again next day. Bye-bye.